Hi, I'm Chris Long with Agile, and in this video, I want to walk you through a few different ways that you can use AI to enhance both your digital marketing and the SEO of your e-commerce websites. So first, what I'm going to talk you through is how you can use AI to help generate e-commerce category page text. So if you've been in e-commerce SEO for a while, you might know that it's very common for sites to have this bottom of the page content that gives more information, more context search engines about what the category page is about. Here's a great example on Lulu's site. But the problem with this is can be very difficult to generate at scale, especially if you have a very large store with a lot of different product lines and a lot of category pages. So let's perform an example where we were going to be on the Steve Madden site and we would say we want to generate this type of content for their category pages. Well, first, what we'll do is we'll want to figure out the questions that we want to have AI help answer. So we might figure out, hey, what are 3 to 4 questions that we can have AI help us answer? And then we can start to use a tool called Screaming Frog to have AI help generate this text for us. So now that we have our questions, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a tool called Screaming Frog, and you can actually connect it to OpenAI. Here I'm going to configure my prompt where I say, hey, I want you to write e-commerce text. And here I wrote a quick prompt where I said, hey, you're an expert copywriter, create FAQs based on these questions. And then I added our questions directly in this prompt configuration. So then what I did is I clicked OK. And then what it's going to do is after it goes and crawls through the site, you can actually have it create this e-commerce content directly in the tool itself. So it's going to go through every single category page and start writing this content based on the prompt that you set. And when you take a look at the results are pretty good. Generally, you'll see it'll create these FAQs and it'll answer all FAQs with pretty good information with more information about the product. So this is a great way that you can scale the creation of this content. In about 10 minutes, it creates about 250 different product descriptions. It's a really cool e-commerce use case for AI. Another really common challenge for a lot of e-commerce sites is creating unique product descriptions, especially at scale. So if you have a really large site that's thousands or even hundreds of thousands of product pages, you might not have the resourcing in order to create a unique product description for every single page in the site. As a result, what we'll often see is very thin product descriptions that aren't good for users and inevitably aren't very good for search engines. However, this is really another great opportunity to utilize AI. What you can do is you can actually feed your individual images to AI and have it create unique product descriptions based on those images. And this is a process that can be done at scale. So once again, I'm going to use our Screaming Frog tool. I pulled in a few sample images from this site. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Configuration, API Access, AI, OpenAI. You're going to insert your AI key here. And once again, you're going to configure a prompt and you're going to say, hey, you're an expert copywriter, analyze these images and create about 4 to 5 sentences of unique product description based on the image that you see. So I'm going to click OK. I had Screaming Frog run through this and do this. And then once again, what you're going to see here is based on all these images, it's going to create unique product descriptions. And once again, these product descriptions end up being pretty good. They end up talking about the image, using the image to actually create the product description in a way that you're actually able to scale this. So another great use case for AI is to be able to have it read your images and then create product descriptions based on those images. Another really great use case of AI and SEO is to use what's called similarity scoring. At Agile, we built an extension that actually taps into Google's own AI and the technology that they use to score content. Well, what we can do is we can go on our e-commerce sites and actually use this extension to analyze how similar is our page content to a given target query. So here I'm on the Chewy website for dry dog food, and I'm just going to go to our Agile extension and type in dry dog food. What the extension is going to do is going to extract the page content, run it through Google's Vertex AI, and then analyze how similar is each piece of content against the target keyword. So here it's going to first give me an overall page similarity score that averages the similarity out for every single section. I can see there were about 7.7, which is pretty good. We could potentially get a little bit higher into the 8.0 range, which is generally what we see to be successful. And then I can analyze what sections of this page are making it successful from an SEO standpoint or could need improvement. Here we see that the content at the top of the page right here doesn't start out very strong in terms of similarity. Maybe we can improve that. Here we can go into the individual products and then assess, hey, how similar are our product naming conventions, the data we have around each product, to the target keyword? Are they making our content more similar to the target query or not? So this is a really useful tool to be able to assess all the different elements of a page and how they impact the SEO and whether or not they're numerically actually similar to the keyword that you're optimizing for from a search engine perspective. Another really cool way to use AI to help improve the SEO of your site is to use what's called compression ratios. We wrote a paper on our sister site, Go Fish Digital, where we talked about how search engines might use compression ratios as a proxy to figure out what content is low quality. Basically, if you have content that has a high degree of compressibility, meaning that content could be highly stripped out and you could reduce 500 words and the content would still mean the same thing, that's a signal to search engines that it's low quality, that it has a lot of redundant, a lot of filler words, things that aren't really needed in order to make the content successful. So what we can then do is we can use compression ratios to understand at scale how much of your site has high degrees of compression ratios or lower degrees of compression ratios. So here we did this analysis in the Go Fish Digital site where we measured the compression ratios of all the different content. So now we can see at scale, does it generally have high degrees of compression or low degrees of compression? And then what we can do is not only can we see what it looks like at scale, we can actually go to individual landing pages and say, hey, do these pages have high degrees of compression? We can actually calculate the compression ratio for every single page. Now we can start to get data on which pages we should potentially consider removing because they might signal to search engines that they're lower quality. Really cool use case of compression ratios in order to figure out the quality of your content at scale for your commerce site. The final way that we wanted to talk about how you can use AI to improve your digital marketing presence is really trying to think about how you can influence ChatGPT search results. We found and done some experiments that shows that you can actually do this. So here's an example when I search for best digital PR agencies. Our agency offers this service. We see that a lot of agencies were getting listed with their notable clients. This one had notable clients, this one, and they listed our agency, but they didn't include any notable clients here, just a specialization overview. But they were referencing an article we wrote on the topic. So what we did was we went back to this article, and then we actually went and added notable clients. We structured it in a bulleted list so it would register as a key value pair, included some of the notable digital PR clients that we have. And then a few days later, we went back, did the same search on ChatGPT search, and this time when it returned our actual individual result, it included notable clients directly here. It included Geico, Kiko, BetMGM directly in the ChatGPT search results. So really cool case study of how we could actually influence ChatGPT search by editing and performing SEO best practices to our own content. So hopefully this video gave you all some really great takeaways of how you can better leverage AI for your digital marketing and your SEO initiatives to help scale your search improvements moving forward for your commerce site.